Forging. That's the generic term that describes a metalworking process by forming metal workpieces with heat and high pressure. The forging of metals is one of the oldest working techniques of mankind. The art of forging dates back to at least 4000 BC and earlier. The hot forging of metals all began in Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers, in the cradle of civilization, what is now Iraq. Before mankind started to use fire for its own purposes, it was a threat representing uncontrollable destruction. People soon found out that metals like gold, silver, copper, lead, and pewter could be shaped with fire, an important prerequisite for the evolution of the craft of forging. Bronze and iron were first used in the forging process to produce hand tools, weapons of war, and jewelry. However, gold was the first recorded metal that was forged by fire and employed by humans. To shape the metal, rocks were used as a forging hammer. In the 1800s, wrought iron was the metal of choice, but this required great heat. Therefore, the blacksmiths of the day became quite competent in hammer wielding. Then came the invention of the steam engine. The invention introduced us to modern forging engineering as we know it. The electrical power harnessed from the engine and the resultant explosive developments was all a boon for the industrial forge. After the steam engine, the forging industry was no longer dependent on river locations. Powerful steam hammers and air hammers were employed. The Industrial Revolution and World War II had a great impact on the forging industry and its techniques. It paved the way for advanced forging equipment and techniques. A modern industrial forging process is operated by computer-controlled hydraulic and air hammers. The little town of Lexington in central Illinois is home to someone who uses some of the same techniques employed by the 19th century blacksmiths. Meet Denny Weber, a retired farmer and truck driver who's proven to be a very adept artisan in forging metals. Working with a blank made of steel, Denny is able to transform the blank into a familiar shape through heat and the use of hammers. But why would someone get into this form of art?
I got interested in forging from watching Forge and Fire, and then my wife and I went to State Fair and I seen this guy was forging, and that's when I got interested in making the crosses.
On a cold day in November, Denny demonstrated the techniques that he uses to form his art.
Okay, I've been started on my forge. I think I'll get my deck out here and get things all set up for you. Awesome! Stock, regular half-inch square steel stock. I cut it this direction, turn it halfway and over, and cut it down this direction. And you intersect those two lines. So there, one line will go through the next line. That's where I get the center of my cross, that little hole that everybody talks about. I spread that out, and those go flying out 90 degrees. I think I'll put it back in. Spread this side out. Now I'll try to get a little on here. Spread it out some more. Kind of like smooth it out. You don't want to touch it. You always have a tendency to want to touch it and turn it. Not a good idea. Just keep working with it till you get it where you think it'll be good. Step here, I'm going to draw this end out and make my loop. Step is do a little distressing, just a little pinging, put little stress marks. Clean it up a little bit, put a little shine to it. Now this stainless steel brush helps clean the slag off the impurities that come out of it. Whenever you heat it up, you get all the impurities. You can see it on the... Now this brass brush, it'll put a little shine to it. Let's see what happens here. Nice brass. You can see it shining in the sun and this and that, and it's turned out pretty good. I'm satisfied with how it looks.